Coming up on the journey.
My name is Jideofor Sunday Agwana Okoye. I am a native of Ukbo in Tunukofia local government. Ukbo is an ancient kingdom, and my family is one of the notable families in Ukbo. And I come from a family of 13. I have 6 brothers and 4 sisters. And my father was a very strong man, because it's difficult to manage even 2 boys, and not to talk about 7 of us. So you can imagine, growing up, a lot of us were really giving some trouble. So my father was very strong, because he was in the army and later in the police, and a very great disciplinarian. Okay, well, I attended primary school at Ukbo and then at Olo, Amifeke. Precisely, there was this secondary school, central school, Amifeke. From there, I got into comprehensive secondary school. Then comprehensive secondary school, Northia. It was Anglican Grammar Technical School, Northia, before it was converted after the war to be comprehensive secondary school, Northia. I left that place in 1978, went to DMJs briefly for lower 6, after which I was drafted to boys secondary school Agolo, where I taught for a very short while as an auxiliary teacher. They call it auxiliary teaching then. And then I was there till 1982, when I gained admission into the University of Nigeria in Nsukka to read sociology and anthropology. Well, at the university, a lot of things happened. I was, in the first year, a member of the House of Representatives of the Students' Union, representing 6-C block. And then in my second year, that was 1983-84, I was the director of the Students' Union, director of socials of the Students' Union. And then in my third year, I was the Senate President of the Students' Union. It's a joint students of both University of Nigeria and Nsukka and Enugu campuses. But I was the Senate President and an ex-officio member of the Students' Union government then. Then in my final year, that was 1986, I left the University of Nigeria and Nsukka, and then went for my youth service. That's exactly, I believe, and that's for my academics and then youth service. From there, life started. I tried out life, first of all, with a company they called Main Event. Main Event belongs to a friend of mine, elder brother, and from where I started as a marketing officer. From there, I did this computer programming. After computer programming, I was actually employed by Aramco Limited. Aramco Limited is a company distributing refrigerators, air conditioners, and many other things that we were doing then. But in 1994, I had to go into banking, because that had been my flair to be a banker. I went into banking in 1994, starting from AfriBank. And I trained in AfriBank for 1 year. But what they were doing then is one of the best training ground for bankers then. First of all, you have to go to the training school in Benin, where first of all they will train you in cash and cash tellering. So after that, you have to go to a branch. I was drafted to AfriBank Main Market Street branch, to now try my hand on cash counting then. And it was a very tedious thing, because in Onitsha, it's all about cash. They don't believe in check. I've never seen any check or anybody writing check. Everybody will come down with the cash, and if they want to pay you, they come to the bank and they pay you with cash. So it was a very good training ground for me. After cash, I had to go back to the training school for another 2 weeks for what they call clearing. The clearing then is not the same thing these days. A lot of things were happening then in clearing. So if you get, after training at the training school, you came back to the branch for practicals, and then you have to do that for 1 month, then you go back again for what they call accounting, banking, accounting, and stuff like that. And after that, the last training was credit and marketing. After that, the bank felt that I had flair for marketing and credit, and then they drafted me into marketing and then credit. So I was there not quite long. I had to leave AfriBank for Chartered Bank. That was in 1998 rather. I left AfriBank for Chartered Bank 1994. After 4 months, I left Chartered Bank for Fidelity. In fact, then was actually they were doing a conversion from a merchant bank to universal banking. That was when Nigeria said there isn't any need having merchant banking and commercial bank. So it was universal banking. I was one of the team, or one of the people that converted Fidelity Union Northern Bank into Fidelity Bank Limited. And that same year, I left Fidelity, worked in Standard Trust for a very short time actually, before leaving for Diamond Bank. I left for Diamond Bank from Onitsha to Enugu then. And then I was in Diamond Bank till 2001, when I left Diamond Bank for Intercontinental Bank. So it was actually in Intercontinental Bank that I made a lot of marks in banking. Then a lot of banks were actually looking for young men that know what they are doing in banking. So when Intercontinental Bank was coming to Enugu, they came for me, and I discussed and learned with them. I told them that I'm going to make a mark in Intercontinental Bank and make the difference. In fact, before the branch was opened, that could be verified from my people then. I came up with a check of 10 million naira. They were still constructing the branch. And I came up with this check of 10 million naira. They said, somebody that have not been fully employed can come up with 10 million naira. What means that this guy is going to make a mark in this bank. And that was exactly what happened. So when we started the Intercontinental Bank in Enugu, I I was told to go to Nsukka to do a feasibility study, which I did. And then in 2002, I was appointed the branch manager of Intercontinental Bank, pioneer branch manager actually, to open the branch at Nsukka. And I pride myself as one of that branch to be one of the best branches of in fact, the fastest growing branches of banks, because we started on the 18th of November 2002, but by 30th of November, 12 days after, we were on 140 million naira. I don't think there's any bank branch of a bank that have grown like that. And then after 3 months, the branch started making profit. To the glory of God, that branch became one of the best branches of Intercontinental Bank ever, before the bank was actually destroyed by the power that be, and that was in 2010. I believe that's my story so far. I don't know about every other thing, because anything that happened thereafter, when Access Bank came, took over. I don't believe in what happened then, but all I know is that Access Bank came and took over Intercontinental Bank. And to me, that wasn't right. To date, I still feel bad about it, because I have to make my opinion known and how I feel about it. But then, they tried all they could to see if they will sack some of us. But God said, no, we are going to leave, and we're going to leave clean. They tried saying they involved us in examinations, that will take us an examination, and the pass mark is 60 and above. But by the grace of God, we scored much more than that, and we were still there until 2012. I think 2012, February, they moved me from Enugu to Abuja. And that was a serious turning point in my profession and as a human being. When they moved me from Enugu to Abuja, when I came here, I felt that these people have moved me to a very green and nice pasture, which I felt, okay. I said, what I did was, first of all, was to consult with my father in the Lord, Archbishop Chukwuma. My father in the Lord as the Episcopal Archbishop of Enugu Province. So I told him that I want to leave banking. He said, the best thing for you to do is to, if you have prayed and you want to leave banking, get out of that place and then fend for yourself. And I tell you that ever since till date, God has been so faithful. I mean, if I recount what God has done since then, in fact, this office, he came from Enugu to dedicate this office. The Archbishop came from Enugu to dedicate this office. So, and he told me that from this office, we have many branches. That's one. Secondly, that we're going to have external dealings outside Nigeria, which is happening. It's happening now, because I know that I have a company that is dealing with the Emirate that said I should do a foundation, which I have established a foundation with the Corporate Affairs Commission of Nigeria for my late father, called Pa Henry Okoye Foundation. And I said that because I've been involved in charity, paying school fees for people, giving what is it called, scholarships to people, paying people's hospital bills, and then trying to make other people around me to smile and to have a good life. So they said I should do that, open an account, both local and foreign accounts, so that they will be transferring money to assist me in discharging my charity responsibilities. And so, in fact, they said that they will send money for me to now buy a house in Abuja that will be used by the foundation, by Henry Okoye Foundation, so that we will do a lot, get more funds from people, and then look at how we can broaden our charity dispositions to people.
Beaming from the nation's capital, we bring to you the good news through various programming, news updates, worship, and teachings.
The paralysis of sin makes us to be separated from God.
Contact us for your live streaming solutions and event coverage, such as synods, conferences, seminars, revivals, and lots more. Engage us in showcasing your brands and services to the world through adverts and sponsorship. We also offer latest broadcast equipment for rent, all at affordable prices. Tune in to ACNNTV via any free-to-air decoder with the following installation parameters: Intelsat 20 satellite with tuning frequency 12562 MHz, symbol rate 30 Mbps, orbital position 68.5 degree east, and horizontal polarization. You can also keep in touch with episodes of our programs via these social media platforms. For inquiries, please call 070-3265-6544 or mail us via inquiries@acnntv.com. ACNN, reaching the world with the undiluted Word of God.
Growing up, actually, was fine. Very fine. My father was a very strong man, providing for everybody in the family. That's one. Then secondly, in fact, part of the things that I do these days as a Christian was learned when I was still very young, at about 8-9 years old. The man that was actually taking us in Sunday school then taught us a lot. He was saying that if you as a small child or as a child, and if you don't like Jesus, in fact, he starts the service by telling us this thing, Jesus in your munta. I don't know whether you understand what I mean by that. Jesus is a friend to the young ones or to the children. And if you don't like Jesus, if you don't love Jesus, you'll be in trouble. You won't have anything good about life. So these are the tenets that he taught us then. And from then, we were enrolled into the Boys Brigade. Believe you me, that Boys Brigade was one of the best things ever happened in my life. Because all the good things about Christianity we learned as Boys Brigade at that very young age, 8, 9, 10, and 11 years. In fact, I owe this to late Venerable Emmanuel Okoye. Then he was our commander that was very serious about life. Then he was still a young man, and he took us through. And a lot of us, and believe you me, all the people that imbibed that then were all people of that belongs to the elitist echelon of this society. A lot of us. I don't need to start mentioning names here because it's not for what we are talking about here. But it's just that I learned a lot from Jesus Enyumonta and Venerable Emma Okoye. Venerable Emma Okoye left the shores of Ukpo to do business in Maiduguri. But when he got to Maiduguri, God told him that, see, you are here for business, but please, I want you to be a shepherd to my flocks. And he got into a seminary school and became a pastor. He died about 2-3 years ago as a venerable, retired venerable. And I still owe his family a lot, you know, and I told them that I'll still show them that appreciation of what the Father did for me and my siblings when we were growing up as members of the Boys and Girls Brigade of St. Mary's Anglican Church there. You see, that's exactly what took me very close to Christ. That's the turning point in my life in Christianity, because what I learned then is actually what is taking me to places these days, that you need to look at everybody around you and then make sure that everybody around you smile on a daily basis. The turning point actually in my life happened on the 28th of February 2005. Then I was still a branch manager I was an area manager in Intercontinental Bank. So I was actually trying to travel from Enugu to Nsukka on that very fateful Monday. And I stopped my vehicle somewhere to buy something. When I alighted from the vehicle, somebody approached me with a gun and said I should give him the car key. And I told him that this car key, it's meant for my driver and myself. I don't give it to him. He said, if you don't give me this thing to this guy now, okay, don't give it to me, give it to the guy. When I looked back, I saw somebody else, so I gave the car key to the person. And they said I should get into the boot. And they opened the boot and took me from there. And then got to a junction, the car stopped. Apparently the car security, because it was a bank's vehicle, the car security stopped. Because immediately I got into the boot, I was busy singing. So when the car stopped, the man with the gun came out, opened the boot. People were all over moving, looking and seeing me coming out of the boot. And they asked me to lie down at the back. And I laid down at the back, and then they took me again because I had to activate the vehicle for them. They took me, and the guy was saying, what were you singing in there? I said, why won't I sing? God is great. So the young man was taking the money from my pocket, and I reminded him, Oga, I paid my tithe yesterday. So please, that money you're taking has been tithed on. And if you use that money will put you in trouble. He said, am I crazy? I said, me? Crazy for what? Not crazy, I'm telling you. I've been tithing till secondary school, and I have not stopped tithing till tomorrow. So as far as I'm concerned, I tithe every Sunday, and I tithed yesterday, and you're taking the money from the tithe. That will be your doom. So they carried me. When we got to the express, they pushed me out of the vehicle and continued. They collected my shirts, collected my tie, collected everything. In fact, it was only boxers and t-shirt that I had on when they pushed me out of the vehicle. So I was trying to stop vehicle. Nobody wanted to stop for me. They would just say, who is this person? Only on boxers and t-shirt, he wants somebody to stop. Somebody came with a bike, ran to quite some distance and said, okay, what's the problem? What's the problem? I said, armed robbers took my vehicle, collected everything and pushed me out. He now came back. I said, where are you going? I told him that I'm going to Intercontinental Bank, Okpara Avenue in Enugu. So when he was taking me to that place, a friend of mine who was then the Accountant General of Enugu State, or Achinyaka, saw me and told the driver, please cross this man and stop so that we stop him. This man cannot be on Okada. Something must have gone wrong. So he stopped me. I told him, he said, Jideofor, what happened? I said, they just collected my vehicle or collected everything and they left me like this. So he took me to the bank and then paid the Okada man or whatever. Then at the bank, people have started praying. They were contacting everybody. They contacted the police commissioner. They contacted the governor. They told everybody. Then these guys pretended to be going to Port Harcourt with the vehicle, but actually they were going to the north with the vehicle. So two of them, when the police at OP Junction sighted the vehicle, they said, this is the vehicle, this is the vehicle, this is the vehicle. They stopped. Smart guys. So when they stopped, both of them came down. The police relaxed. They went into the vehicle and zoomed off. But you see, you can zoom off from men, but you cannot zoom off from God. So on their way to the north, in fact, there was a place called Ejule. This place was called Ejule. That was where God arrested them. They were moving on a cracked road. They were not speeding. But all of a sudden, because people around there told us, all of a sudden the vehicle started somersaulting. That they saw a vehicle on air somersaulted 3, 4, 5 times, and the next thing they had was the passenger fell off, and the vehicle on that person blew, and it was the person that collected the money, and he died there instantly. The young man did what? Died there. So the driver was saying, when they collected my ID card, because to show him, who is this? Who is this? Hey, that's my Oga. That's my Oga. Please let me go and call him. Armed robbers calling me his Oga. Meanwhile, he doesn't know me, but apparently because he knows I was the person they collected the vehicle from, he told them that that's the Oga. Do you know what they did? The man left, connected his people, and they had to go to the hospital that night and collected the corpse of the person, because the people around there thought they were real people, they are good people, not knowing that they were armed robbers. So how did I now know what happened? That vehicle was there for a long time. So one of the lecturers at Nsukka then, Professor Amuchazi, he knows me very well, he knows my number. So he called my secretary on that about 10 days, after 10 days, because we were praying that we'll find the vehicle. He now called my secretary, please, can I talk to Jideofor? Because the prof said that when he saw that wreckage, that apparently Jideofor died in this accident. Said, oh, but let me talk to Jideofor. So when my secretary told him, Prof, okay, let me give the phone to me, he was happy. So in fact, when I took the phone from my secretary, I can feel the professor's good nature, because he was just straight smiling. Oh, Jideofor, which means you are alive. I said, yes. I asked the prof, what's the problem? He said he saw my vehicle at Ejule. That I said, what happened? He said, he was involved in an accident, and the wreckage was so bad that he felt he should get in touch with me. I said, okay, no problem. Thank you very much, Prof. And from there, we had to go to Ejule with some policemen, and then when we got there, brought down the vehicle, we had to tow it from Ejule to Enugu. The insurance company came, took the vehicle, and then brought, and not because it was comprehensively insured by the bank, you know. So, but well, after that, in as much as I've been a Christian, but the real turning point was on that one. And the good nature of the whole thing was that in fact, after 1 month, I was promoted. I was promoted to a manager, and then promoted again that same year 2 times. On the 28th of March, I was promoted to a manager. Then on the 10th of August, that same year, I was promoted to a senior manager. That caused a very serious uproar in the bank. A lot of people were asking, what is so fantastic? But then when you look at the records, you see what I was actually doing there. It wasn't by my might, but by the grace of the Almighty God. And all those things were happening then. And that's, I still give God the glory till date. So I don't know. It's a very wonderful turning point in my life. You know, you find out that it's only stars that they go after. They fight stars. Demonic set of people fight stars. So once you're a Christian, you'll be rest assured that being a Christian or being a born again or being a child of God does not mean the absence of issues, problems, confrontations. Okay? Because what it means that because you're a Christian, there will be war, attacks, confrontation from every angle. But of course, the most important thing there is that at the end of the day, God will give you victory. And that is what has been happening. I mean, after that very encounter, in fact, the first one I had was from the bank. A lot of people were not happy that I was promoted twice in a year. Some people started writing petitions and all that. But it's not about the petition, but about the facts and figures that are there for everybody to look at. If you want, they will show you why the promotions took place and why they did that. Now, you see, God has been so faithful. You know, a lot of temptations and issues, confrontation from a lot of people fighting you unnecessarily without any cause. Just because you are there, they are not happy. So I've had so much of it. But God has been so faithful that He has been seeing me through. If you look at the life of Joseph, he went through a lot. But at the end of the day, God gave him victory. And it has been so with me. In fact, at a point in my family life, because after that incident and then the promotion and other things have been, a lot of people have been, you know, things have been moving on very well with me. But one time or the other, you have one or two issues that will confront you, at times from the family. In fact, at a point, a lot of people started saying that because I had 3 girls in the first instance before my son. So a lot of people were saying that this man is, forget about church and everything. He has used his male child to do more, whatever they call that they are talking about, for money. And that is why I will not have a male child. But eventually God told them, you people are not really there, because this it's God that does everything. You know, it's God that gives power. In fact, which is written in Psalm 62 verse 11. Once has God said, but twice have I heard that all power belong to God. So power to give life, power to take life belong to God. And when it was right for Him to give me a male child, on the first day of June 2010, God gave me a male child. Okay, so and to date, all those that have been saying that I use their whatever they call it to make money, I don't know what they mean by that. And to date, I have my son, and I have 3 girls. And my family, everybody is doing well, to the glory of God Almighty. To 2 of my elder girls are in the university in London. You know, the first one reading pharmacy, and then the second one reading actual acting performance. Then, when we talk about testimonies, I don't know where to start about testimonies of things that have been happening. Ever since I left banking, that should be in 2012, because I left banking precisely on the 20th of June 2012. And a lot of things have been happening. God has been telling me, do this, do this, do this, do this. At the point I was asked by God to open to establish a firm called Jideofor Global Investment Limited. And I was asking, what will I do with this company now? I mean, is the company going to do anything for me? But I didn't hesitate to do that. I had to establish that company that very 2012. And I started using this company in 2014. And I said yes. God told me this is exactly why I asked you to open this company. And that company has gone places. It has gone places. In fact, at the point I was asked to establish another company called Jideofor Blossom Ventures Limited. That's the one I use for my estate business. What I do is to buy houses that are dilapidated and then refurbish and then sell. That's what that Jideofor Blossom Ventures does. And then seeing a good place that is empty, you buy and then sell. We can buy and then put a fence around it and then sell it and get a margin or a premium on top of that. So a lot of things have been, I don't really know where and how to start. When it comes to protection and preservation of my family, everybody is happy. Even my extended family members are happy. God has been so faithful that He has been taking care of my immediate family and my extended family ever since. So I really, if I start recounting testimonies, I find it difficult to give testimonies because testimony on daily basis. I have testimonies on daily basis. First of all, the testimony of my life on daily basis is the gift of life. It's a gift of life because I appreciate God every morning for giving me life. You see, so I believe that there are not too much testimony to share, but a lot of testimonies are there. Well, I think it's important that people understand that what you do for others goes a long way to do for you. And that is written in the Bible that if you give, it will be given back to you, pressed down, shaken together and running over. Now, I want to tell the story that happened after the burial of my brother in the village. There is this secondary school, Bishop Otube Secondary School at Ubo. And then my mother has a dormitory named after her. And then the principal came with the students to pay a condolence visit on that very fateful day. In fact, the traditional ruler of Ubo was there. So when the students came, we were trying to clean seats for them to sit. I was doing that with my elder brother. And then our eldest brother was actually talking to the students that the family is happy they came and all that. And then when we were cleaning the seats, God told me, in fact, I had a voice, sit down on this seat. I sat down. And he said, okay, continue cleaning. I left, go to another seat. He said, sit down. And I sat down. After which I continued cleaning. So when we finished cleaning the seats for the students of the school that came on that condolence visit, I was going back to keep the rag that I used. Then my elder brother called me and said he wants me to talk to the students. Apparently, I finished talking to them that they should go and sit down. But, well, I know that's the directives of the Spirit. So, when they gave the microphone to me, and I said that we thank God that they are here, but one thing that is happening now is that God asked me to sit on 2 seats that we were cleaning, and that 2 people that will sit on those seats, I will pay their school fees to the university by way of giving them scholarship. So everybody clapped, and then the student, because nobody knows the particular seat, they went gently and sat down on the seats. But the 2 people that sat on those 2 seats were the people that have not paid their school fees for that very time, because their parents do not have. In fact, one of the students was a woman, a cleaner, and the other one, the father, a wine tapper. Incidentally, both of them are not even from my village. The first girl is from Okoye or Cross River or whatever, but that does not mean. So at the end of the day, we took the 2 names that we are going to start paying their school fees till any level they want to get in education. So you find out that these 2 students, being indigent students, and my younger brother though felt that he would give a helping hand, let's add one other person. And the person we added was the last person that paid her school fees, because the parents had to borrow to pay the school fees. So, but now we now decided to take up their school fees and until any level they want to get in the academic pursuit. And we'll be prepared to do that by the grace of God, because we know that the grace of God will be more than sufficient for us to take all that. I think my prayer for people is that God Almighty, who has given me the grace to think about others, who has given me the grace to do things for the kingdom, who has given me the grace to look at people around me and to make them happy will also give other people the grace, because the more people that are involved in doing these charity things, the more this will have peace in maybe in Anambra State, in Nigeria, and in the whole world. I have a mentor. I have to say this. I have a mentor, and I believe most people know him, Prince Engineer Dr. Atoeze. He's a wonderful man. Somebody that in fact, has touched a lot of lives to the length and breadth of this country. From Maiduguri to Lagos, from Sokoto to Port Harcourt. The man has traversed the whole country in charity work, and even outside the shores of Nigeria. And I think, in as much as it's my mentor, and I'm trying, I think I'm going the right way, doing that. Trying to make people around me to be happy and to have peace. That's a very important thing. Thank you.